Hey guys, Misery here, back with another CZN video, and today I will be talking about my final ranking and score that I got for the Great Rift Phase 1. So if we go over to the Great Rift section in the seasonal content, right here it says first half of the Great Rift. So I got top 3% and I am currently Diamond right now. There's a little less than 3 days left if you want to do a final push and try and get higher than where you are now. But the teams that I used, of course, I used Kayron because I just love Kayron. He's my favorite, even though Tressa and Cassius are totally meta for this and way better. I didn't really care about getting top 1% or lower. I am fine with top 3%. But the teams that I used for the first boss, I used Yuki, Ray, and Nia. Then I used Kayron, Vero, aka Veronica, Mika. In my previous video that I made about the Great Rift, I went over about the boss and how it works and all the modifiers and everything. And I'm sure most people know how this boss works already, so I'm not going to go in depth on how it works again. Unfortunately, this was the highest as of right now that I could get. If we go over here, I've done a ton of runs, almost 20 million accumulated score, and I just couldn't get good RNG. And I know Kayron can do higher. He can do 860k, maybe even 880k or 900k. I know 920k is top 1% right now, but 890k is still top 3%. So top 1% is around there. I'm not sure if Kayron can even get that high without Chains of Obsession or the glorious neutral card. But the reason that it's harder for me to get a higher score with Kayron and not get something like 860k or even higher is because if we go over here to the hell difficulty, I want to showcase the data that I am using. This quad zero cost echo is the ideal deck that you want for Kayron Rift, but the problem with mine and how I got unlucky is that I didn't get 7 brand here. I got the second best, which is alright. I also didn't get 60% black hole, so I'm missing a ton of damage there, and Oath of Vitality could be better with the 180% futility attack card. And you may be thinking, oh, you want healing and damage. Well, yes, but I find that I am usually capped out and fully healed up most of the time in this boss, and I'd prefer the extra attack from the 180% futility attack card rather than this 80% healing and damage one. But this deck is super good if we're looking past the brand and the black hole that I didn't get the best modifiers. These are still like the second best modifiers you can get for it, but I could get higher if I got the actual best modifiers for these cards, because I got quad zero cost echo, I got unique initiation, which outside of Rift, this will be good and probably the most ideal for this deck. I even got Ecstasy of Violence, which was super lucky. And to top everything off, I got Foggy Crystal, increased damage amount of attack cards with the cost of 0 by 40%, making the zero cost echo even better. And I got Medallion. You might have seen another Kayron video that got 860k, and they have a way better brand and black hole than me. Plus they got the Forbidden card Gesture, which makes a random card zero cost the entire battle. And they get Gesture and use it, and it procs on their black hole, making their black hole affected by Foggy Crystal Ball. On top of the 60% damage amount for each exhaustive utility black hole, that's doing way more than me. And sadly, I couldn't get Gesture on my support decks to make my black hole even better, but it is what it is. I'm only like 20k behind them, but it's a lot of RNG involved with the decks and just the stage itself, because you can't reset and retry the second boss over and over unless you restart from the first boss, and it's super annoying. But yeah, I spent like the past week or two just farming a ton of in-game decks for all of my main units that I use. I'll show my other decks real quick, but after I show my Kayron stats, because I'm sure some of you are curious. So mine is level 40 affinity, 912 attack, 62.5% crit chance, 226.6% crit damage. I'm running Bria on him, E0. His potentials are maxed out. Running a 2-2 set on him because this is better than the void set that I have, because the void set that I have doesn't have as good as subs. And then like I said, he is E6. But honestly, this deck can probably work at E0 and still get you like 600 to 700k. His E1 goes from creating 3 futility cards to 5 futility cards, which the zero cost echo scales on how many futility cards you create, but it's not that big of a jump. His E2 is just extra damage to all enemies when you exhaust 2 futility cards. His E3, you can exhaust from graveyard. E4 is just extra 10% damage increase. E5, just the potential is nothing insane. And then this E6 is really good because whenever creating a futility card, there's a 50 chance of applying vulnerable, weaken, or injured, and vulnerable is the main big one here. But for this specific Rift deck, none of those make this deck too much better. Like, this deck will work at E0. But yeah, and then if we go over to my Veronica, I actually just recently farmed this deck not too long ago, a few nights ago. Originally I was searching for the 1 AP or draw 1 divine modifier on the 0 repos, but I actually got this reduce the cost of this card repos, making it 0, which is what most people do. But I wouldn't have even settled for this if it wasn't the decreased cost of one of those cards that you draw by 1 for 1 turn. So it's kind of like 1 AP in a sense, the divine modifier, because I'm getting 1 AP off of one of the cards I draw. It's not as good because you can't target what you want to get less AP on or use your AP on, but it still is good. And then I got the divine on fire prep. So once I got those two, I knew I had to keep this. Draw 2 on Sir Kowalski, and then I got Portrait of Fury forbidden card on her with the ally attack weapon medallion for her ballistas for extra damage. Currently 997 attack, almost 1,000, 46.5% crit rate, and 170.8% crit damage. But if we go over to my potential, she is nowhere even near maxed out, so those stats can be a lot better. And I'm running Rosaria on her, E2, running a 4-2 passion set with attack. I know that passion set isn't as good on her now because this gets consumed by her ballistas, but it's still viable if you have passion pieces and don't want to grind a new set. This is totally viable, and she's just E1 right now. And then for my Mika, E6, running a 2-2 max HP and defense set on her. For the most part, most of her potentials are maxed out. This is my save data. Got the ally attack weapon, the cape that gives you 1 damage reduction and 1 draw. This draw 1 is really nice. And then I have triple source of water divine, giving 2 AP each source of water, and this has retained, so I can hold onto it for the next turn if I don't want to use it that turn. I have a gear bag with 1 AP on it, which is more extra AP, and then just this forbidden disposable ego card, which you may see in this video isn't really that useful or good because I have a lot of 0 cost cards, you know, isn't the best. I just wanted as much drawing power as I could get. I'm running E4 Alyssa on her. I just stacked defense, HP, and ego recovery on her. 54 ego recovery because if you go over to her potentials, if she's over 40 and 30, she gets additional healing on these, which is nice. But yeah, currently top 3% and I am diamond. I got a run where I was 820k and it was still top 3% in diamond, but I don't know how long that's gonna last since I have a feeling a lot of people are gonna push in these last days. So hopefully I can maintain top 3% in diamond because I'm currently at almost 840k, but if it doesn't maintain it, I'll try to make one last push and try and get top 3% for the finalization before phase 2 comes with Serennial. And phase 2 Rift boss is going to be reliant and focused on Ravage units, just like how Serennial is. So I presume units like Selena are going to be really good. Boss is probably going to be Instinct Affinity, so Kalipe is going to be nice for the shielding and getting the shielding points. But yeah, if we go over here to the merit ranking, first place is Poor Coco, 1.675 million points in first place, 200,000 more than second place, which is a huge gap. This guy must have farmed insane. But yeah, over here on the left, diamond top 3%, 840k. If we click on this little icon, we can go over here and see the ranking rewards for each rank: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then master. I really wish I could have gotten master, but I just don't think it's possible with my Kayron deck. There's less than 3 days left, and for me to farm the ideal Kayron deck, I don't think that's enough time with how much RNG I need. On top of the quad echo, it's just like you're just asking for just a slim chance for the best deck. It's like almost impossible to get at this point, or at least it feels that way. But yeah, if I had Tressa and Cassius built, I for sure could easily get top 1%. But I just want to show that you don't even have to chase the meta to even just get top 3% if you're happy with that. Just try and use whoever you like, form different strategies, come up with different decks, and get as high as you can. I definitely wasn't thinking I'd be able to get top 3% with Kayron. I thought I was gonna end this rift with top 10%. So yeah, I'm at least happy about that because I don't know, I don't really like the platinum logo. It seems bland, but I know some people who are just even happy to get top 50 or just reach 500k points for the sticker here. And something to mention is that do not forget to do these weekly. These weekly cumulative rewards, they reset every week. I know some people don't even know about this and that they only did this once and they've been missing out on free rewards. This is a free like what, 270 gems, 200 gear frag fragments, that's 2 pieces of gear, and 4,000 white fragments. So yeah, these reset weekly. And if you didn't know that, we'll keep that in mind for the future for Rift Phase 2, because it's gonna be the same there too. And yeah, without further ado, I will show you guys my top 3% 840k point run with Kayron. One of the highest runs with Kayron, and you don't really see many people using Kayron in Rift because a lot of people just like to chase the meta and use Tressa or Cassius. Here we go.
待っている。くだらぬ命令足りない。待っている。貴様の分だ。命令しろ。足りない。くだらぬ足りない。
元気が出ましたか？落ち着いて。はっ。
待っている。
集中。
命令足りない。
打ちます。集中。元気が出ましたか？落ち着われスピーカー。これでいいですよね。
待っている。くだらぬ。
集中。
命令し。足りない。待っている。足りない。命令しろ。足りない。待っている。貴様の分だ。命令しろ。空気の中。
準備でき役に立ちましたか？
待っている。足りない。教えてあげよう。貴様にこの空虚は克服できない。足りない。足りない。足りない。足りない。命令し。有意義な苦痛に。待っている。足りない。命令しろ。足りない。待っている。くだらぬ。命令し。足りない。
打ちます。打ちましょう。集中。落ち着われスピーカー。これでいいですよね。慎重。元気が出ましたか？準備でき。元気が出ましたか？打ちましょうか？行きましょ
う。命令しろ。くだらん。足りない。
落ち着く。集中。
命令しろ。足りない。
元気が出ましたか？
命令し。足りない。命令しろ。貴様の分だ。待っている。足りない。命令しろ。くだらぬ。待っている。足りない。命令しろ。
少しビリビリします。
足りない。有意義な苦痛に命令し。空気の
打ちます。打ちます。集中。準備で確認します。力になってみせます。 元気が出ましたか？
待っている。くだらん。命令し待っている。足りない。命令し空虚な待って貴様の分。
撃ちます。準備で元気が出ましたか？集中集中。皆さん気をつけて。スティーブン、ウィリアム、お願いします。落ち着こわれスピーカー、これでいいですよね。撃ちましょう。
命令しくだらん。
落ち着く。集中集中。
待っている。足りない。命令足りない。待っている。命令足りない。待っている。くだらん。足りない。命令足りない。命令有意義な苦痛に待っている。足りない。
撃ちます撃ちます。ブリア、こんなの楽勝に決まってるっしょ。もっと褒めてくれてもいいんだよ。